Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Everything Bagel. I am Sage. So, this time, and sorry about the quick intro, but that's all I got, at least this time. But I wanted to touch uh, base on this topic this week, and it's going to be about dreams. Not like when you go to sleep or anything, but what you want to aspire to be. I've known and met so many people over my short amount of time of living on this earth, but every single person, whether you call it a dream, whether you call it a goal, whatever you call it, anyone, in my opinion, can obtain it if you put in that time, you put in that dedication, and you really strive towards it. I can't tell you, and as you guys have probably heard, like in the last two casts, how I was put down and everything growing up with what I wanted to do, and I really didn't have that much of a support system. And sometimes, at least how I coped with it, because I know not everybody can get a support system. And my suggestion to that, and I'm not like a guru that can solve everything, but my suggestion is look within yourself. I believe everyone has inner power in themselves to lift themselves up out of any adversity that they faced, out of any injustice that has been done to them, any negative thing. People can get back up. It is hard, it is painful, it is frustrating, but you can get back up no matter what. And you got to find that inner strength in you sometimes more so than other people, because again, not everybody has, that one person or group of people to help them obtain what they want or to give them enough motivation to. And when it comes to dreams, don't let anyone or anything diverge you from that path. We are the architects of whatever we choose to be. We can be the architects of our own destruction. We can be the architects of something great. We are, as human beings, in my opinion, given such a great opportunity to do something with ourselves. And it's not even, I'm not saying you have to go out and save the world or anything, but we have the potential to be good at, maybe not for just the world as a whole, sometimes it's impossible, but for the people that are around us, the people that we surround ourselves with. And there's a beauty in that. I can't tell you how proud I am of so many people that I've known, that I, I've just seen them slowly get off their path, and I've contributed sometimes to lifting them back up, but ultimately it's come from that person. We like to give our achievements to a variety of things, and sometimes that's the case. Like sometimes without this one person or without this one circumstance, you wouldn't be where you're at. But ultimately, we got there. You got there, and that is something you need to revel in. We we're our worst critics at times. Sometimes actually we are our worst critics all the time. We think that we can't do something. We think that we're never going to make it. And that's reasonable because, like, take for example, I am an author. I'm in a very competitive market, and I have had my doubts of thinking, oh my God, is this going to be too much for somebody? Oh my God, are people going to like what I write? And when, at least in my opinion, doubt leads to fear, and then it's just like fear leads to a bunch of other stuff, and then it just keeps going down and down and down until you don't want to do it anymore. I can't tell you how many times that I've been dissuaded or attempted to be dissuaded of what I was doing. How people, even though it was constructive criticism, there was that hint of just trying to steer me away from it. And I don't know why. I can't read people to a T. I'm not that good. But it's just the fact that, you know, people have tried to do that, not even just to me. I've seen it done to other people. It's That's just the thing that happens in life. And there's a variety of reasons that I can't even begin to go into. I would be sitting here all day if I went into all of that. But the point is there will always be an outside influence that will try to knock you around or off your path. And some people have given up, and it's really unfortunate because, it's just because of the outside influences. I believe that anyone, no matter what background, no matter what knowledge, if you are determined enough, you can obtain anything that you want. Now, within reason. I'm not saying like for example, I can become a billionaire, but if I put in the time and everything, and if I had the means to do so, it's a possibility. But there are some possibilities that are just completely out of our reach. We have to accept that too. I I have to I've accepted a lot of stuff over the years, of stuff that I could possibly obtain, but given the current status that I'm at, I can't. There's no way, and that's okay too. And I believe that when it comes to our goals, when it comes to our dreams, we're afraid to fail. You already know how I feel about failure. Failure is a very good lesson, a very good teacher, and a very good motivator. And I believe that failure is just another, like, it's another thing that leads to being too afraid to do something, being afraid of, like, stepping out of your box, of trying it. It's funny because me and my sister, we had a discussion. I believe it was yesterday or 2 days ago, and she has her own podcast too. She's getting ready to go on that, and by all means, like, if you ever find her, she's amazing. She's very well spoken. She has a lot of energy with her, and she honestly, when she wants to be, she can be very inspiring. She's a very strong, independent woman, and I can't, like, she does piss me off sometimes, but I am proud to have a sister like her. She's flawed like everybody else on this planet, but she's so strong. But anyways, before I go off on a tangent on my sister, um, so me and her were talking about how she wanted to do her own podcast and how she's a little bit nervous and afraid of, like, what people are going to think. And then she told me how much support she's been getting, and she's a part of this, like, women's group, and she put up a poll, and almost everybody in there supports her and everything else. And it made me, now that I'm saying it out loud, it made me think, you know, it doesn't matter how much support somebody gets. Well, it does and it does and it doesn't. Because when you have that doubt and you have that fear, that's what's clawing at your mind. And it's always going to be there, people. Like, it's always going to, I believe that nobody is 100% sure of themselves. We question what we do. Some people question everything that they do, more so than others. But it's natural to question yourself. It's natural to have that doubt. And I told her, I was like, you have all the support, you got all the equipment for it, and you, and I gave her the speech of how when I published my first book, I was terrified, absolutely mortified. Up to that release, up to, putting it in and having Amazon go through with getting it into a paperback form, I was about to be, I almost went in and deleted it. I was like, I'm not doing this. And that's okay. It's okay to feel that. You're valid. Like it's 100% normal. And, after I told her that, I was like, look, but I did it anyways. Like, even though I was absolutely mortified, I did it anyways. And look at where I am now. I'm not a bestseller or anything like that, and I don't care to be. If you enjoy my work, you enjoy my work. If you don't, you don't. It's not for everybody, and that's okay. But, I still did it, even though I had my doubts, even though I had fears about it. And I think she took that to heart. Like, I think she really did, because she's getting ready to do her first one now. And sometimes sometimes I feel like people need that extra push, that nudge to take that step. In Spider-Man Into Spider-Verse, there's a quote that has always stuck with me, and that's, sometimes all it takes is a leap of faith. I'm paraphrasing it, but that's the basic gist of it. And I do truly believe that. That's all it sometimes takes. It's just a leap of faith to just put yourself out there and do what you always wanted to do. If you had told me, and granted, I'm not doing uh, everything that I want to do yet. Like I still want to be a screenwriter, I still want to be an actor, and I still want to be a director at some point. And if it doesn't happen, then that's okay, because at the end of the day, I at least have one thing that I am doing that I 100% love. I love to write. It is the best thing on the planet to me. It is my lifeblood. I was born for this, at least. I know that. Like, I was born to tell a good story. I was born to make good characters. And I'm not saying that I was just came out of the womb and gifted, but because I have stumbled a lot. I have struggled to, tell a good story and everything, but I've still gotten there. And I was, for the longest time, between, being ridiculed and, told I couldn't do it, on top of my own mental, on top of my own mental state at the time, was like, okay, yeah, they're right. I can't do this. I'm never going to achieve anything. Like I still came through. And everybody, no matter what you are going through, I believe that you can do it too. It, it is not easy. No road, anything that is successful, anything that like is worth it is never easy. There is always going to be something that is going to stop it. At least in my opinion, if something is easy, then it's really not worth it. You don't get that payoff. Imagine watching a movie or a TV show or reading a book or something, and then one of the main character in it just get, like there's a conflict, but the main character just gets around it so easily. Where's the payoff in that? Where's the, you know what I mean, guys? Like, what does that equate to? I'm not saying that every single time somebody has to fail in order to make it worthwhile. Sometimes, no, no, no. Sometimes the easy route is sometimes it does lead to success, or it does lead to you finally getting what you want. But ultimately, I believe that the more hard it is, it just seems like the the bigger the payoff, the bigger you will feel about, like, the more you will feel about yourself. And speaking from somebody, I haven't personally really taken a moment to realize how, first of all, how gifted I am. Not to like put myself on a pedestal, but I I haven't taken a moment to actually like look at myself and be proud, because I'm always I feel like I'm always going to be a miserable person. I'm always going to not be happy no matter what I achieve, which is again me being my worst critic, me taking everything negative about myself and past events, and just thinking I don't deserve this. When I first got my first book published, I thought I didn't deserve it because of the people that I've hurt, sometimes intentionally, sometimes unintentionally, up to this point. And maybe, and I've gotten, I don't know if you people believe in karma, I've gotten everything handed back to me, I believe, in sometimes the most brutal ways possible. But I've changed for it. But again, that, like I said, that's just me being my own worst critic. So this time it's going to be short, people, but I just think that, and I want all of you to know that no matter what happens, no matter how hard that road is, no matter how bumpy it gets, no matter how much you need to jump over different hurdles or to climb up into the light, I believe that all of you who are listening right now, who, by the way, I thank you so much for listening, but I believe that any one of us can do whatever we choose to do, and we can be whoever we choose to be. So that's all I got for you guys this time. Feel free to subscribe, feel free to like and share, and I will come back with some more insight. I really hope that you guys are getting a sense of me as a person. I mean, you probably are, but I just never know. I'm always wondering about that. Like, when people listen to my stuff, is it sounding like ramble? Do you get my points? Like what? I, I just, I don't know. I never know. But like I said, thank you all who have listened so far. What I planned on doing with all of this is I wanted to, I noticed this yesterday. I think that instead of like doing topics and everything, like I'm still gonna do topics, but I I feel like I want to talk more about myself on here and like get to know all of you guys who are listening too, because I don't know, like I'm not I don't want to do a vlog or anything, but I feel like it's gonna turn into that. Like I just feel like I'm heading down that direction already, so I might as well commit to it, you know. Like I said, I still want to bring up topics, I still want to talk about them, but I also want you all to know me and everything else. I'm not afraid to put myself out there. There are tons of stories I have for all of you. And yeah, I hope you guys don't mind. So, like I said, uh, I will be back next time to talk to all of you guys. And yeah, that's all I got this time around. Hope you all have a fantastic rest of your week and a good weekend as well. And you'll all hear from me next time. Until then, Sage out.